In fact, I think now is as good a time as any to examine that allegation that Nigerian authorities were alerted earlier that this could happen, but allegedly no action was taken. In what circumstances does that kind of thing tend to happen, where they get intelligence, but the evaluation of it is that, you know, we don't need to bother about this? Well, how does that happen?
Now, in the Nigerian context, the security sector, and unfortunately, several sectors, it's not peculiar to security. You have this lack of accountability where, you know, government departments, unfortunately, do not take responsibility for actions. Now, in this instance, one of the major challenges that we have as a country is that intelligence is not fused. The fusion of intelligence, which the US realized after 9/11, that led them to create the Department of Homeland Security and also make several changes within their security architecture, where we have that challenge in Nigeria. Intelligence is sometimes generated, intelligence is shared, but then it's not acted upon. We can single out the coordinating elements within the national security architecture: the Office of the National Security Advisor, the Minister of Interior, Minister of Defense, Minister of Police Affairs, and then 2 departments within the presidency as squarely responsible for this. We can also single out the intelligence boards. I think there is a National Joint Intelligence Committee or board where all the intelligence agencies meet. Now, if this components that I mentioned are doing their work, they are the ones who are supposed to perform some element of oversight and monitoring and evaluation within the intelligence community, so that where there are failures of this type, it would be corrected. Another very important element is also the absence of an intelligence fusion center. But I'm also happy to note that the Office of the National Security Advisor has gone far in terms of the creation of that intelligence fusion center. The building has been finished. I think the equipping it is almost finished. And so the next stage is to make it operational. Now, if that center is operational, it means intelligence from all the community, not just the agencies that are responsible for intelligence, but even the security ones, such as the police, law enforcement components who have intelligence units. It can be brought to that fusion center, and then we'll now start seeing pictures, because intelligence is a painstaking process where you put together small pieces and then a picture emerges. So if you have a fusion center, it will help in that regard. Now, no matter how good that fusion center is, if this component of coordination that I mentioned earlier on is also not strengthened, then we'll be where we are. That brings me to the last point, which is the role of the legislature in terms of oversight to ensure that these bodies actually do the things they're supposed to do. Now, if in this instance, there was intelligence that a custodial center was going to be attacked, I believe that the oversight function, not just by the legislature, but also by the coordinating elements within the national security architecture, should have conducted an investigation to find out who was that intelligence sent to. Why didn't that person act upon it? And then, of course, corrective measures would be taken. And that brings me to my last point, which is the absence of penalty. When these failures happen, we don't find out who is responsible and then take corrective measures in terms of either suspending that person and then applying the provisions of the civil service rule or whatever body he belongs to, if it's the military, their internal arrangement there. So all of these things are unfortunately responsible for the failure to act on intelligence in Nigeria.